Well, here we are. It's time for the next Q&A, and like I say at the beginning of every single one of these Q&A videos, if you'd like to be featured in the next one, either just keep your eyes peeled on the community tab, because I always post up over there being like, hey, it's time for the next Q&A, and you can just leave your questions over there, or you can leave your questions in the comments of this video, or you can join the Discord server, because I always let them know immediately whenever stuff like this is happening. But anyways, let's get right into it. We'll be starting with the Discord questions first. The first one coming from Lilithix, who asks, what is your most anticipated game that will be out early 2024? Ooh, probably the Alone in the Dark game, since that was just delayed from, because originally it was going to be releasing in October, but then it got delayed to, January of 2024. So that is my most anticipated game at the moment. Next question comes from Ryden Rev, who says, what's your favorite Five Nights at Freddy's game, assuming you play the majority of them? I've actually played all of the Five Nights at Freddy's games outside of the VR ones. I don't like VR very much, but if I had to choose my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's game, I would say that it would be the original one, hands down. Don't get me wrong, I love all the other ones, like 2, 3, 4, Security Breach, etc., etc., but there's just something about that original game, between the vibes and the atmosphere and the gameplay. It was just simple. It was, you were managing your power, the doors, the lights, looking at the cameras and stuff. And again, I like the gameplay of the other ones, with 3, how you had, all those different things you had to micromanage, and 4 was really creepy with the whole bedroom setting and stuff like that. And, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, that was a good one as well. But I don't know. There's just something about that original game where I like the simplicity of it. And furthermore, I love the atmosphere, the setting of it. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing. I'm not sure. But yeah, the first one's my favorite. The next one comes from Big Daddy Matty44 on Discord, who asks, what's a game you think nobody should play? Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a cop-out answer because, for me, video games are an art form, right? And no matter how good or bad something is entirely subjective. And going back to, video games being an art form, I think that any art form in any medium deserves to be respected and experienced and just appreciated by anybody. So I'm going to flip this question and say a game that I think everybody should play would be Resident Evil 4. It doesn't matter if it's the original one or the remake, but, it's my favorite game of all time, so, I'm definitely biased. The next question comes from Shira, who asks, have you considered starting any new series or reviving any old ones for the channel? And if you do, would you be willing to share what it is? Honestly, no, I haven't thought about that. Lately, I'm not gonna lie, I've just kind of been chilling doing, my COD Custom Zombies videos and stuff like that. I've thought about doing other, videos and other series and stuff. I mean, obviously, we're doing the Minecraft series right now, which is pretty cool. I've been doing, 1 or 2 episodes of that a week, like I was saying in the last Minecraft video, I try not to do too many more than, maybe 1 or 2 a week, just because I know it's hard to keep up with the series over time. But yeah, besides that, I've thought about dabbling into some other things, and I do have some ideas on the table that I don't want to share at this moment, just because they are pretty exciting series. But I'm just kind of waiting until the time is right for those, if that makes sense. A series takes a lot of commitment, so at this point, I'm chilling with Minecraft and I'm chilling with the custom zombie stuff, but, it's one of those things for, the people that know me in real life. That's always my thing, where I always have, so much stuff up here, and I always have so much stuff up my sleeve. I always have all these cards that I'm ready to play, but, I hold on to that stuff until the time is right, sometimes to a fault. The next question comes from my mom over in the YouTube community post comment section. She actually has 2 questions. First one says, what is some advice you would give your future self? Ooh, okay, you know what? I actually really like that because, the common question is what advice would you give your past self? But future self, wow. My advice to my future self would be to stay humble, stay thankful, and embrace every second that God has given you. It's easy in life to, get lost in the shuffle of things and to forget to be humble and to forget to appreciate the little things and to simply just, be so fixated on the future that you forget to embrace, experience, and, appreciate the present. And to even take moments to reflect on the past. So, I would say to my future self to, again, just be appreciative of every second, embrace every second that you get, and just live in the moment. You can only spend so much time looking forward and looking out there before you run out of time to look forward to. Does that make sense? And beyond the question, that's just something that I've been doing in my life, period, for the last couple of years, especially this last year. I've just really been honing in on just living in the moment, treating every day as if it could be the last, and just, it doesn't matter what time it is, what's going on, it's just doing whatever makes me happy, doing what I want to do, and nothing less than that. Another piece of advice I'd probably give my future self is to remember to smile, because, sometimes it's easy to forget to do that, and sometimes simply looking in the mirror and smiling can really, it sounds cheesy, but looking in the mirror, smiling, and giving yourself a little compliment it really goes a long way, especially on the bad days. Again, it sounds corny, but like if you just force yourself to smile in the mirror, it really can make like the world of a difference. It can truly change your day. Our next question is, and with how much gaming has progressed over the past 10 years, where do you think games will be in the next 50 years? Oh, okay, see, I really like this question because, you know, I sit there thinking about this stuff all the time. So in 50 years, gosh, I hope I'm alive in 50 years only so I can see how far video games have progressed. Otherwise, I don't care. Okay, so when it comes to video games, I think in 50 years, we will most definitely be at a point of where video games, like, graphically are indistinguishable from real life. Furthermore, I think in 50 years, we're gonna hit the threshold of what's possible in terms of pixels that our eyes can physically see and frame rates that our eyes can, you know, like, actually process. I think in 50 years, we're gonna hit a bit of a stalemate when it comes to graphics and frame rates and pixels and all that stuff. And it's gonna be at a point of where indie games are, it's kind of like where it's at now, right? Where, like, indie games are the ones that are, like, really innovating, and then, like, AAA games are really trying to push the boundaries. I think indie gaming and AAA gaming are going to hit a bit, I think they're going to start to, like, meet in the middle there, to where it's going to be really almost undistinguishable as to, like, which one is what. Because we're already seeing that with some games like Bright Memory, which is, like, one of the best looking games that I've ever seen. And obviously that was a much smaller scale project. And that's just now. Just think 50 years from now, I don't even think that indie gaming and AAA gaming are even going to be, like, two separate categories anymore. I really think it's going to get to a point of where we hit that threshold of what's possible graphically and frame rate wise. It's going to be left to innovation and, like, who has the best ideas. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to, like, what the most revolutionary games are going to be and what some of the most played games are going to be, I feel like it's all going to come down to just who's making the most fun games and who has the most revolutionary and innovative ideas. I also think in 50 years, there's going to be, like, a huge, like, just boom of nostalgia games. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, like, games that try to throw back to, like, the 8-bit era, the 16-bit era, because we do see a lot of that now, especially from the indie scene. But that mainly just comes down to, like, you know, just because those games tend to be a bit easier to develop, just because they are simpler in terms of art style and overall coding and such, just because obviously it's on a 2D plane, it's 16-bit, it's not as hard as, you know, developing a 3D game where you can go in one of 360 directions. There's a lot more to account for when you're QA testing, but I do think in 50 years we're going to hit a point where, like, even maybe, so because we were already seeing this now with, like, Square Enix, where they're doing, like, the whole HD 2D thing, where they're taking, like, their classic games and remastering them, or even taking new IPs and making them in this HD 2D fashion. I think it's going to be something like that, where more AAA studios start to embrace that idea, and who knows, we could even see some, like, throwbacks from, like, Capcom, to where maybe one day they do, like, a nostalgic throwback to, like, the OG PS1 style of graphics, you know what I mean? Just for, like, a one-off survival horror game, or see them make, like, another 8-bit Mega Man game. I mean, granted, I don't even know what IPs will still be around or what IPs will be big in 50 years from now, but on a simple fundamental level, that's what I think, like, on the consumer side of things, video games are going to be like. But when it comes to, like, behind the scenes, I feel like things are going to be even crazier. I feel like AI is unfortunately going to be a bigger part of video game development, which I do not like, because for me, video games are an art form, and anytime AI is involved, that automatically detracts from the art. I don't care what type of art form it is. The minute AI does any of the work for you, it automatically takes away from it. Like, it depends on what it is, right? Like, if it comes to, like, basic coding and AI is alleviating some of the workload with coding, okay, that's different. But if AI is introduced in the game at all in terms of, you know, the NPCs you can get, like, anything that you physically play or can see in the game, when AI is influencing or developing that in some way, that's when it automatically detracts from the art form. And unfortunately, we're already starting to see some of these AAA companies try to experiment with that. So I'm a little scared as to what the future is going to look like there. I also think there's going to be some sort of, like, big boom with VR, where, like, they find, like, the next big step for VR, where it really makes it feel, like, real. Because obviously right now we got, like, you know, these helmets and stuff like that, but I feel like they're going to find a way to just, like, really take it to the next level. I don't know what that's going to be, but I could definitely see that happening. Like, we're already seeing some crazy things where it's like, you know, there's people with, like, glasses, right? Like, they have these glasses where it basically projects a screen in your glasses. People like Beat-em-Ups made a video about it a while ago, where basically he was able to project his Nintendo Switch inside of these glasses. So he could be sitting there on the train playing his Nintendo Switch with his glasses on. Like, nobody else around him can see the screen, but he can see the screen through his, like, it's insane. I'm sorry for such a long-winded answer. You know, when it comes to gaming, that's literally the thing that I'm most passionate about. So I could go on and on with, like, theorizing about different things, but yeah, when it comes to, like, the consumer side of things, it's what I said before, and then when it comes to, like, you know, behind the scenes and new technologies and stuff, I mean, the possibilities are endless. This is also less of a theory and more just of a hope. I hope that video games continue to lean more into the accessibility side of things. We've been seeing it a lot lately, like with Microsoft and Sony, Sony especially, because they're straight up just like, you know, developing an accessibility controller at this point. But I hope that we get to a point where the technology for video game control evolves enough to a point of where anybody can play video games. Because at this point, you know, we're getting better. Again, Sony's releasing like that accessibility controller, and there's a lot of accessibility third-party options out there, but I'm hoping that we start to see more first-party options again, like Sony has been doing, to where every console, no matter what console you're on, no matter what platform you're on, no matter what your disability is, there's a way for you to play video games. Like, even if you don't have arms, even if you don't have legs, even if, you know, you can only speak, if like, I don't know, just some sort of technology out there. Say if you don't have arms or legs and the only way that you could play a video game is by speaking, hopefully, you know, there's more more first-party options introduced to where you could control games just with voice control, for example. Or maybe we could even get to a point of where, like, you know, there's like some sort of machine or like some sort of like accessory you can put on that like reads your thoughts or something like that. So then you can control the game that way. Like, if you can't speak, if you don't have arms or legs, like if your physical disabilities are like the most extreme that they could possibly be, I hope that there's a way for literally every being to play video games. I don't know how they'd even go about some of that stuff and making it accessible on a consumer level, but with the evolution of technology and, you know, just like the economy overall, I feel like it could be possible one day. And I honestly do hope that I'm able to at least see or help contribute to that idea in some way in my lifetime. Anyway, I talked about that one for a while. I apologize again. I could go on and on with that stuff. But anyway, the next question comes from Jay Gaming, who says, if you had to delete one social media platform, what would it be? I could delete any of them. Honestly, fun fact about me, I don't use social media. Like, I have social media accounts for you guys to follow, and I post in there occasionally just so that I can provide you guys more content. I don't post on social media for my enjoyment. I don't enjoy social media. I'm never on social media. If YouTube counts as a social media, then whatever. Okay, then sure, that's one social media, but that's different. It's not like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, all that other stuff. I'm never on social media. I don't scroll social media. I don't text people on social media. I can't even tell you the last time I was actually on or active on social media. I post on my like my Snapchat stories and my Instagram stories and Twitter every single day to say, hey, a new video's out. Like, every time a new video goes live, I advertise that. But otherwise, I don't read on social media. Like, if I get on and the first thing I see is like a post from Call of Duty, then yeah, sure, I'll read that and see what's happening with Call of Duty, because that's like one of my favorite game franchises. But otherwise, yeah, I don't interact with social media. You could take any of them away from me, and I'd honestly only be happier. I quit social media a good like 2-3 years now, about 2 years ago at this point, I'd say. And I've only been happier since. Like I said, like I go on there to advertise my videos, but in terms of actually interact with social media, I don't do anything on there, and I don't even post on there unless it's just for me to, you know, provide you guys with some sort of content or entertainment in some way, whether that be Instagram Reels, so then people that follow me on Instagram can see the stuff there, maybe just like a funny post on Instagram, just to, you know, again, just throw out some more behind the scenes content, provide some more content for you guys. And finally, the last question coming from the YouTube comment section, but it's coming from Lilithix, who also asked a question on Discord earlier in the video, which, by the way, you guys should definitely go subscribe to her. She makes some of the best videos on the platform, like real chill Let's Plays, takes you back to that like early 2010s vibe when like Let's Plays were all the rage, and, you know, super chill vibes over there. Love her channel. But anyway, her question is, how is your new setup treating you now? It is still treating me amazingly. I still gotta upgrade my desk and my chair, but otherwise, when it comes to the PC itself, oh, I absolutely love it. Like I said though, yeah, the desk, it's still a little crummy. I want to upgrade to a standing desk, not because I want to stand while I work. I never stand while I work, nor do I have the desire to. It's just so then I can actually like adjust the height of it, just because my body's really weird. I need an ergonomic setup that I can move around and mess around with. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing. I don't know if it's an OCD thing. It's something. Also want to save up for either like a Secret Lab chair or maybe like an ergonomic chair or something like that, just to, you know, help me with my back. You know, I'm getting a bit older now. There's days where I wake up and I'm, you know, I go to sit in that chair and I'm like, oh, my back, you know, having that Spider-Man 2 moment. So something just a bit more ergonomic that I can adjust would be, you know, pretty nice. But overall, when it comes to the PC and my workflow, outside of a few things that I wish I could upgrade, yeah, it's incredible. I'm so glad that I got to upgrade the setup. My workflow has been so much more efficient, so much faster, so much better overall, just the quality of the videos and all that. And yeah, it's awesome. I'm getting to make videos that I never would have been able to make before. Like a lot of the custom zombies videos that I've been having a lot of fun making. I wouldn't have been able to do that on my old PC. Like I could play the game on there, but playing and recording at the same time, no way. But now I'm able to like record those videos, record them at a higher bit rate. I was trying to make videos at 60 FPS for a while, but it's hard to like edit at 60 FPS because the recording on there goes at 60 FPS, but this camera doesn't go at 60 FPS. So like there's this weird thing where it doesn't exactly work the best. So I'm gonna have to figure that out because, you know, I want to get back to making 60 FPS videos, but I really can't do that until I find a solution for my camera. Because when it comes to like editing the audio waves and stuff like that, I don't even know how to explain it. It's really hard to edit at 60 FPS until I get a better camera. It's like things just don't line up properly, and it takes like 5 times longer to edit because of it. So for now, the videos are still stuck at 30 FPS, but once I upgrade the camera, we'll be back into 60 FPS land. Anyways, there we go. That is another Q&A. Again, if you want to be featured in the next one, either join the Discord server, keep your eyes peeled on the community tab, or simply comment your question in the comments of this video. But anyway, as always, a massive shout out, thank you to all the patrons and channel members, thank you to all of you in the low baller tier, and a major shout out, thank you to all of you in the big baller tier, King and Big Daddy Manny, the biggest shout out, thank you all to all of you in the G tier, Ron Adventure, Selling Cheese Code, thank you guys so much, you guys are literal legends, I love you. Thank you guys for watching, have an amazing day, stay beautiful, I love you all, peace.